I suppose now that we have 31 laborers, we should probably come up with something for them to do, because otherwise they're just going to be running around doing more or less nothing. They'll obviously move resources around, and obviously that is important, but we need them to be working as well. Now, the big thing at the moment, or the most recent issue that we've been running into, is firewood, because every winter we start to run out of firewood, even though we had about 1,400 firewood just a second ago. Basically, the second summer is done, people start hoarding the stuff. So what I think we can probably do, and we already are, is get ourselves another woodcutter. Although I might go ahead and get another woodcutter beyond the one that we're already building, because I just figure it's probably not a bad idea, because we only have one right here. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves another woodcutter, and that'll be one job, I guess, that we can, have for a laborer. We can also give them a little bit of storage just around the woodcutter, same way we did on the other side as well. So just a little something like this should be pretty good. We'll get these built, and hopefully that's going to help us out a little bit. But I want to just take a look down this way as well, because we don't actually have a woodcutter in this space, which seems like a bit of an oversight. So I think I'm going to get another one just in here. And I would suspect that we're probably not going to need another one in here. I think just the one woodcutter, assuming I'm not missing something, which I don't think I am. I think a woodcutter in there should be absolutely perfect and totally fine. Obviously, we have two down here. We have one right here as well. And we have one in here. Do I have one way out on the right as well? I do. So that should be enough woodcutters. That should get us into a good spot. That's going to be, what, 3 more on top of the 6 that we currently have. So 50% more woodcutters should get us into a pretty good spot. And I also want to take a look at this guy, because you have cattle. I kind of want cattle. I'm not going to lie. So if I was to do 625 on this, that is 2,500. 8 and 8 would be 16. I can get 3 of these guys for 24. So if I do this here, I'm overpaying by 80. What if I did 18? Overpaying by 72. What if I did 600 flat? So let's do that and get 3 cows. And then I'm going to need a pasture for this. But that's totally fine. That's obviously something that I'm willing to do. I think this space here is where I'm going to go ahead and get ourselves some cows. So let's see just how big we can go with this. I'm hoping we can do something that's a decent size. 15 by 20 is pretty solid. Can I go any bigger than that is the question. I don't think I can. So 15 by 20 on a pasture right about there. I am going to get myself a warehouse right next to it, just for the sake of efficiency in getting everything. I don't know why I've got the game paused. Just for the sake of efficiency. And I think I'm also going to go ahead and get myself just a little house down here. We'll go for one right about there. And maybe one on the other side as well. We'll go for this guy. Just again, so we have people that can live right next to where they're working. And that's something that I'm really trying to stay on top of. I want to make sure that all of my people, all of my, I almost said Sims, which I guess they sort of are. All of my Sims are living as close to where they work as is possible. Because I think that might be part of what's going on with these crop fields. I think that might be the issue with some of these. That might be why some of them don't necessarily have as good a harvest as they otherwise could. Although at the same time, it's really not the end of the world. If we go ahead and have a look down here, I mean, last year's food production was 50,000 with consumption at 45. So no complaints on that one. I'm going to be honest with you. I was about to, be like, man, food production's kind of, you know, it's intermittent is what it is. It's not really consistent. It's starting to stress me out. But, you know, plus 5,000 is something to be kind of proud of, I think. And I am definitely kind of proud of that. Now, in the bottom left, we do have need for another woodcutter, which tells me, yep, this place is ready to go. So we'll go up to 7 woodcutters right there. This one over here is being worked on as well. So that'll bring us up to 8. The other one brings us up to 9. And we have a decent amount of wood in storage, decent amount of logs. I would like that to be higher, although I suspect that we might be about to see, yeah, there's a good amount of trees out here. So I think these guys are probably going to start working. Although what we might want to do is go ahead and get ourselves maybe just a few little stockpiles, maybe like a little 3x5 right about there. Maybe just a little 5x3 right about there. Just a few stockpiles around so that the woodcutters don't have too far to go. Maybe a little 3x4 right about there. And a little something just up here as well. So we'll do a little 3x4 there as well. And my thinking on this is that if we have enough vendors, the vendors should be going out and grabbing everything. Now we have 26 laborers. We have 12 vendors. I'm going to double that to 24 vendors, leaving us with 15 laborers now because we got a few more. We're up to 17 already. But the good news is with 24 vendors, that gives us 6 per market, which is, you know, more people to go out to the stockpiles and the barns and all that stuff to grab the resources to bring back to the markets and hopefully, you know, get the resources around to the people that need them. So let's take a look. We have need for 9 woodcutters. So this one over here is up and going as well, which is fantastic news. And I would say that that should put us into a good spot. Obviously, we are going to be consuming even more logs, but we should be able to manage that given that we have 4 more foresters out in this space. And honestly, I am going to play around. I know I mentioned in the last episode about not necessarily doing gatherers and stuff like that out by the foresters, but I'm going to give it a shot just because I can, and also because we can get a gatherer here, which seems like a really good place. I'm also going to do, I might do a hunter right in the middle here as well, actually, just because that seems like a pretty solid spot for a hunter. And then we can also do a herbalist in one of these spots as well if we really wanted to, which, I mean, I'm kind of feeling here just because. So we'll do a herbalist right there, and we'll throw a couple of houses into this space as well, as we usually do, just to give them a few more options for where they can live. We have a house here already, but we'll do another one right about here. We can do, I guess we have a house here already as well. Maybe one just in the corner, and we'll see how that plays out. Maybe one right about here as well. That's a few more houses in that space than I would necessarily like. But again, my goal is to try and have people living as close to where they work as is possible. And if all works out, then everything should be good. I'm also thinking that I might actually increase a few of these farms to have 3 farmers, even though this one with the 3 farmers is struggling. I want to make sure that these are all getting harvested fully. And again, I need to make sure that my laborers are going out and working somewhere, because the alternative is, of course, that we just go and build another town. Ooh, you're done. Beautiful. Let's get some cattle. We can have up to 15 of them, which is amazing news. So we'll get 2 more herdsmen here, which is great. We've got a herdsman living here and a fisherman and forester living here, which is totally fine. So that'll be a source of, I suppose, leather and also meat, which is very exciting. And honestly, I want more pastures. I really do. That's the one thing that we don't have a lot of right now. So at some point we might, oh, what if we built like another town on this, I was going to say island, but like on this chunk of land, because we could use this entire lake for fishing. And speaking of fishing, I did a little bit more reading into the fishing huts. My numbers weren't exact, apparently. In that last episode, I mentioned that you can get up to 2,000 per dock. That, I've seen comments that have mentioned that, and I read it somewhere, possibly on Reddit, that you can get up to 2,000. But the main thing, I went and did some more reading into the specifics of the fishing docks in this game. And basically, the main 2 things are the availability of water tiles and making sure that they don't overlap. So these 2, for example, overlap a little bit. They're not going to be as efficient. These guys have some water tiles, but not all that many. This one has a couple of water tiles that might be occupied by the bridge. So they're not going to be as efficient as they could be. However, if I was to come down here and build a fishing dock like this, that one has a lot more water tiles available because it's on a lake. So I could surround this lake in fishing docks, and that would be kind of amazing. So that's why I'm kind of liking the idea of coming down here, maybe clearing out all this space, doing a bunch of houses, another market, and instead of doing farms and orchards, we could do pastures. So I think I'm going to prep for that. I'm not saying that we're strictly going to do that today, but I like the idea. I do like the idea. I also want to just get rid of that little bit of road there because it's giving me some trouble. So we'll get that cleared out of there. We're up to 25 laborers. So honestly, we could reasonably do this, I think, but we'll, like I said, we had some massive expansion last time. I just want to make sure everything's okay. I don't want to get too carried away. You know, we've got some more building to do around here. Need to make sure the firewood's good. And honestly, the number of logs, I'm pretty sure does get lower and lower every year. So I want to just be careful is what I want to do. I actually want to have a look at my production here. Logs produced last year, 1,400, used 1,449. So that's not ideal. Fuel produced last year, 3,871, consumed 3,276. So we might start to see a surplus of fuel come around again, which would be lovely. The logs thing has me concerned though. I'm hoping my foresters can start to do good stuff. I'm also hoping that, you know, giving them some extra housing out here, giving them some stockpiles. It does look like it's already working there. Looks like it's already working here as well, and up here as well. So I think we're starting to see some good things. We are going to have some job availability in this space as well, which is totally fine. And I think that road's already been cleared out by the looks of it. So can I now get myself a little bridge here? I absolutely can. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll put the road back in there. And I want to make that a priority simply because what I'm going to do is start to clear this island. And I think the best thing we can do to make that a little bit easier is going to be to put some stockpiles over here, just so that there's room to dump the stuff that we take off of, well, I say island, off of this chunk of land. Maybe a little stockpile up here as well. Wouldn't hurt. Just a little something there. And maybe, do I want to do this space as well? I don't know that I do. I don't really want to keep all the stuff here. I just want somewhere that's close and convenient for my laborers to go to. But I don't know. I don't think we need to worry about it too much. What I'll do for the time being is just say that we're just going to remove the resources. So we'll go in and honestly, pretty much everything here can go. And I'm not super concerned about how long this is going to take. Obviously, it is going to take a while, but it's fine. It's not like I'm any rush to do this. I'm not in any rush to do this. That's the word I was looking for there. I kept, stumbling over my words. I'm not in a rush to get this done. So we'll just send 34 laborers to clear it out. And honestly, 34 laborers doing this probably will clear it out pretty quickly. So, if I want to, I mean, I could build it. I could build whatever I wanted here right away. Like I said, I'm not really in a rush to do it. So we'll send them down there to clear it out. That'll give us a bunch of wood as well, which is absolutely fantastic. We do need that. And I think what I'm also going to do, like I said, I'm going to bring a few of these farms, if not all of them, up to 3 farmers instead of 2. And we'll see if that improves things a little bit. I don't think all of them need it, but I do think some of them definitely need it. So that brings us up to 99 farmers, which is kind of ridiculous. That is a lot of farmers, but it's totally fine. It's for a good cause. It's going to feed all of our people, and that's kind of what we're looking to do. And we're up to 16,000 food right now. How did we do last year in food production? 42,000 produced, 46,000 consumed. So again, it's fluctuating in a way that has me a little uncomfortable. But again, if we go ahead and build some pastures out here, then eventually we should, and we're up to 5 cattle already. So eventually we should be able to do just a whole bunch of meat, really. And that's sort of what we're looking for. So this will be good. It's just going to take time. And so it turns out this really didn't take all that long to get cleared out. So I'm going to go ahead and take out all of my builders, since I don't really want them building anything right now. And what I'm going to do is just see how many fishing docks I can get along this body of water. So we're going to do one there. And then we want to have one about here as well. We want to, let's see, if you are there, that's sort of our overlap point right about there. So another one right here. And then if this one's here, the overlap point is kind of there. So bring this guy to about, I want to say that spot. And then this one wants to go to about there-ish. Now this one's not going to be as efficient as the others, but that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fishing docks. We can get more up this way as well, which I'm absolutely inclined to do. So if I have one here, my overlap spot is right about there. So that's another one. And then this guy's overlap point is right about there. So let's get that one. So that's going to be 7 fishing docks around that lake, which is kind of wild. That's a lot of fish. That is a lot of fish, but it's good. That's kind of what we're looking for. So we'll connect these guys out to just the various trails and roads that we have around here. This one's just going to connect like this. This guy is going to connect over. I don't really want it to do that. So let's do this. We'll just bring it sort of straight over. And I'm going to say straight down like that. We are going to need, like I said, we're going to want markets and stuff like that out here because we do want people living in a lot of this this space. But just for the time being, I want to see what I can do in terms of trails. Do I want that to go around like that? You know, I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. So I'm gonna allow that. And then on this side, we'll just kind of leave it disconnected for the time being. Now, what we can do is bring a trail straight down here and straight across, which now gives us a straight shot down and around towards this space, which is good. And then all of this space here is kind of where I want the market and the housing and the pastures and all of that good stuff. I also like the idea of some more bridges in here just to get people across, especially with a pasture right there. But I'm not going to stress too much about it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start as I mean to go on, and that's going to be with a market. And I think what I'm also going to do, honestly, is I am going to get another boarding house. Not because I necessarily think we need it, but just because it means that if any nomads do come in here, we can go ahead and send them to a boarding house that might be a little bit closer to where they're actually going to be, you know, working. So that'll be good. This also has coverage on that pasture there and all of these. That's actually a really good market. That's a really good place to have a market. Good Lord. All right. I'm actually really pleased with that. Let's just get our dirt paths around here the way we always do. So we'll get these guys in here. We'll bring this sort of down and around the boarding house, and we should be able to get a couple of houses here. So we'll go for these guys since they kind of look the most symmetrical, which is kind of what I want for this space. So that'll be pretty good. We actually have a lot of the resources already in place for these fishing docks as well, which is very exciting. But what we're going to want to do, I guess, ooh, do I want a tailor in here? I don't know that we need tailors in here. I think we could probably do with another woodcutter. And I do think a little bit of production down here would be nice. I don't think we're going to do a blacksmith, but I think a tailor we can probably get away with since we are going to have cows around this space. So I think a tailor right about there would be good. I think a tavern's going to be a little bit unnecessary. I think a woodcutter would be a good thing to have in here. So we'll do it sort of on this side, especially since we have so much lumber coming in from the forests over there. So a tailor, a woodcutter. What else have we got? Do I want a school? I think a schoolhouse is a good addition to the space. I think we can do a schoolhouse. We're sitting just shy of 60 students, so we'll do a schoolhouse. I think I'm also going to do, I'm going to do another hospital just because, you know, healthcare is good to have around here. I don't know that I need to do another chapel, but I could. I absolutely could do another chapel. Do I want another chapel is the question. I don't know that I do. That was supposed to be space for cattle. I might be taking up a bit too much space there, but in saying that, there's 108 members here. There's 191 members there. So, I mean, we have space for 600 members and we right now have 441 citizens. So we are going to fill those, especially with this growth here. So I guess we'll do a chapel. And honestly, it's going to be kind of nice having it right on the water. So sure, we'll do a chapel. I know that's really far from the roads, but that's kind of intentional. I'm going to just do a little bit of something here. I don't necessarily know what it's going to look like, but we'll sort of double up some roads around here, make it look a little bit nicer. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with this. We'll do this as well, just to make this look a bit more decorative. And that'll be our chapel for this space. Whether or not this is going to be good, I don't know. We still have a lot of space left to play with though. So what I want to do is I want to come in here with a few more houses, and I'm just going to go with these guys because I think they are, you know, they're relatively symmetrical. I can't remember what they look like. Should I do stone houses instead? I might actually just build stone houses because I'm going to upgrade these guys anyway. And at least I can actually see what the stone houses look like before I build them, because I want something relatively symmetrical. And this is like the best one. So I think I'm just going to do some stone houses and get the symmetry in here. Obviously we can't necessarily have the symmetry on this side, but it also saves on firewood, which is apparently something we keep running out of. We're at almost 2,000 firewood right now, so that's actually kind of less of an issue, but we'll just do some stone houses. We'll use these ones. They all look pretty decent, so I think I'm also going to have a bit of a gap between these guys. Yeah, that's fine. We'll have the gap there just to fill that space. And I guess what we'll also do is just come back here and kind of double these guys up a little bit. I don't know what these are going to look like back to back. They might look a bit silly, but we're going to do it anyway. And again, it's going to be pretty good for the population. It's going to just give us plenty of people to work in this space. It's going to be a lot of people to work in pastures and fishermen. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fishermen. It is going to be a lot of fishermen. So it's going to be for the best. Now what we'll do is bring, I don't know why I've got the game paused while I'm doing this. We'll bring these roads just out and around, and we'll bring it sort of out and around here as well. And I guess we can sort of do the same thing here. Again, that feeds into our decoration that we have going on for the chapel, which is fine, I guess. It's totally fine. That should be a really nice boom to the population, though. What I'm also going to do is this. I'm also going to bring this down here, and then any sort of extra space that we have can just be for, you know, a little stockpile if we can get it. I don't think we can. I think we can get one in here, which is totally fine. So that's going to be a market for all of these houses. That's going to be a tailor. That's going to be a schoolhouse. It's going to be another woodcutter, another hospital. Am I missing anything? I guess I'm probably missing a barn. We do have a lot in the area, but I think a storage barn right here is going to be really good for the fishermen. I think a storage barn, oh, I wish it fit in there nicely. It does fit in this space though. So I think, ooh, what about there instead? I think here's good for a storage barn. I'll go for right about there and get ourselves just a little trail that goes around it. That'll be good for those fishermen. I might do one down here as well, just for that one fishing dock. I don't think it's necessary though. So I think we'll be all right. And I'm realizing if I really wanted to, I could do some houses kind of along the river as well, or along the lake. So let's just do that. Let's just get some houses across here. I might go for some slightly different ones. Maybe these guys. What about these ones? No, I think what I'll do is I'll go for these guys just to change it up a little bit. So we'll get just a few dotted across the lake. And again, it's going to be good for the population. I'm not taking away from any of my foresters. That'll be another 5 right there. We can maybe do a slightly different style of house down here. We could do that one, I guess. And I suppose I probably want a house out this way as well for my fishermen. So we'll give them the one with the tower, which seems pretty cool. And that should be enough. That should more than be enough for the houses. Let's start taking a look at the pastures and see if can I get one in here? Oh, I can. Absolutely. Can I do a 20 by 17 pasture? I absolutely can, and I'm absolutely going to. That's kind of huge, and I mean that both literally and in the sense of that's going to be really good for the colony. We'll bring this road out here. It does leave us a little bit of space that I'm not really too sure what to do with. Although looking at it, can I get houses in there? I sort of can. What if I did houses and then a stockpile or two? That might not be a terrible idea. Just use that space for more housing and more. Oh, I might be getting carried away with the housing though. That has me a little bit worried, but I think we're just gonna gamble and we're just gonna see what happens is what we're gonna do. So we'll do this. Maybe another storage barn would be an idea. I think it's probably not the worst idea. It's a little extra. It's probably a little bit much, but we'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens. It's probably better to have too much storage than too little anyway. So we'll do a couple of stockpiles there, and that gives us one huge pasture. Honestly, I've got less space for pastures than I was expecting, although I do have all of this. So I take that back. I've got plenty of space for pastures. We can do 20 by 20 for this one, which is going to be lovely. That is a massive space. That is kind of perfect. We'll bring this out and around just like so. And I can do another pretty big one down here, I think. At least by the looks of it, I can get a decently sized pasture here. What can we do? 12 by 20? Honestly, not bad. I'll absolutely take it. Can I bring a path down around it? I absolutely can. So there we go. That gives us 3 decently sized pastures in that space. I think I'm going to just bring this road straight down here as well, just to fill in that space. And I have all of these spaces up here next to the chapel. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to bring some roads down the sides of the chapel. I'm going to bring some bridges. Is it not going to let me bring a bridge across there? Really? Is it really not going to let me do that? Do I have to get rid of the path to do that? I might have to get rid of the path to do that. Let's see. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to get rid of that section of path over there. So let's just take that little bit of path away, if it's going to let me do that, which I think it is. So take that bit of path out. We'll build this bridge. We'll have a couple of paths and bridges going down here. And I think this space, I mean, we could just do another farm field. I might hold off for now. I mean, we're not building any of this right away anyway. We have 48 laborers. Good Lord. That is, that's more laborers than I know what to do with. And we have 40,000 food right now in late winter. What was the harvest last year? 55,000. Okay. Yeah, that is considerably more than I know what to do with. But here's the cool thing, right? Here's the exciting thing. I'm going to go ahead and say that we want, I don't know, 16 builders. So we'll put them to work and start getting all this put together. That road is also gone now, which is fantastic. So can I now put a bridge in there? Yes, I can. All right. So a little bit of stone road there. Honestly, most of this probably should have just been built with stone roads in mind, but well, here we are. I decided not to do that for some reason. We can upgrade it eventually anyway. It's not the end of the world. But we'll go ahead and get our builders straight to work on just all of this, which is going to mean that eventually and very, very quickly, we're going to have a much greater need for fishermen. So a lot of people can go to work there, which is going to be a great source of food. I'm also going to prioritize this barn. I think that'll be good. I'm going to prioritize this as well. I'm going to just try and prioritize basically anything that's production related over houses. Just because I think those are going to be really important because the population's probably about to explode again, which I'm not complaining about, but it's, yeah, we just want to make sure we're staying on top of food, but we want to really stay on top of food. And we also probably want to come down here with a little bit of a trail just like that. I probably want to get myself a house down here as well. So we'll go for this one again, just so those guys have somewhere to live. And I do think a storage barn down here might be kind of useful. I absolutely do. So the fishermen can live here. They can put the fish in the barn right there. And then the vendors can come down and grab it whenever the vendors are ready to do that. Honestly, I'm just excited for the animals. That's genuinely what I'm most excited about right now, because I think this space is just going to look so good when it's done. Now, while all of that's going on, here's an interesting detail. We are extremely close to hitting the threshold on just how much food we can have in storage. And I do think part of that is because a lot of these farms here, and we are actually, we did it. We now have more food than we're allowed to store. So food storage is going to go up to 100,000 now, which is wild. I do think getting the extra farmers here has done a lot to help out with that though. And so what's wild is that, I mean, this space is still coming together. We do need to get another teacher here, but we also have, I mean, we're going to have more food production from all of this as well. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, man. But I think this space is going to look really good. I do. I really think this space is going to look fantastic. That's also, let me just remind you that none of these fishing docks have been maxed out yet. We have need for 76 fishermen. We are a little bit low on laborers, admittedly, because 16 of them are now builders. But yeah, we're gonna have food production going through the roof with this, and that's very much the goal. And I'm very, very excited about that. I've also brought the number of vendors up to 30. So there are still 6 vendors at every one of the markets across this entire map, which is fantastic news. It means that everybody within range of a market is getting everything that they need. And there's enough vendors that, you know, things are getting moved about pretty quickly. Honestly, my biggest concern here is probably going to be firewood again. Looking at the numbers across the board, I mean, it's sitting around 1,500, which is great. I don't think it's going to drop drastically, but this is a lot of houses, and we did see what happened the last time I built a lot of houses. Firewood became a problem, so we'll see how it goes. And I'd also like to point out, it's late winter, about to be early spring. We still have almost 50,000 food in storage. I'm really excited to see when it does take over into spring, just what exactly our food production was last year or this year, because that is kind of wild. That's a lot. We also have some people that are homeless, which is weird. Not really too sure why you're homeless. That is a weird one, but it is now early spring. Let's take a look. Food production last year, 55,000, 46,000 consumed. That's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. Also, these are getting built so much quicker than I thought. They don't line up perfectly, which is frustrating, but they do look good. They absolutely do look good. Although I'm wondering if I can get them to maybe prioritize building the pastures over the over everything else, because that's kind of what this space is supposed to be about, rather than, you know, the houses and all of that. I'm also definitely thinking that I want another pasture back here, and that I might do another line of houses down here at some point just to kind of fill in the space. I don't know what this corner is necessarily going to be, but, well, maybe a cemetery could go in that corner. I suppose that's probably about the only thing I can put in that corner is a cemetery. So, I mean, maybe that's what we do. I mean, it's gonna be needed at some point anyway. So maybe a 10 by 12 cemetery can go right about there. I think it's about the only thing I can think of for the space. So we'll do a cemetery right there, and I might do another one on the other side, honestly, just so I don't have to build one, you know, in the near future. We'll do a 10 by 10 on this side, I guess, for the cemetery, and we'll just have the 2 of them there, and that'll be fine. We can also bring this little road up here, and then that gives me this space just completely separate for whatever I might want. Now, this is a hospital, which means we need a 3rd physician, which is totally fine. We have capped out on the number of clothes that we can have, which is good. We're staying on top of that. We're up to almost 3,000 firewood, which is also good news because that's the cap on firewood. Oh, man. I really don't think I've ever seen these numbers in a game of Banished that I have played. I've watched people play this over the years. I've known people that play this. I've collaborated with people that have played this and that have been very good at it. I've seen, and don't get me wrong, this is nothing. I've seen videos and screenshots and stuff like that of people with over 1,000 citizens, and it's wild looking at those numbers. I don't for one second think I could maintain a colony of 1,000 people. That's not to say that I'm not going to try, because at the moment we're sort of doing okay. But I will say that the number of students is dropping pretty drastically, and I think the population needs to blow up again just a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I do have a little bit of a concern that the I want the number of students to be kind of maxed out where possible. So we'll see what happens there. And honestly, the number of laborers is dropping pretty drastically too. I don't love that. I really don't. Anyway, let's go ahead and say cattle in there. We can have up to 20 of them, which is amazing. So split you. We can go up to how many herdsmen? Up to 6 of them. Absolutely. We'll do some sheep down here, and I think this will be another cattle field. So what we'll do is get ourselves another 2 herdsmen. We'll go down to like 5 builders, I think, since we can probably get away with that now. And what we'll do is split this guy into another field as well. So that'll be a whole bunch of cattle. That'll be a decent few sheep. That's up to 15 of them actually, which is pretty good. And then I would imagine this will be like 18 probably cattle, which again, I'm kind of fine with. And again, the whole goal is that'll be both leather, that'll be some wool, and it'll just be meat as well, which is what we're looking for. So, well, it should be. I don't know if the game actually does that. We get venison from hunting. I would assume we get meat from cattle. I don't know. I mean, I obviously in real life, yes, but in Banished, I have no idea. So while all of this construction's going on, I wanted to zoom out for a second and just see how much of the map I have left to play with. Because I was thinking that I've done a lot of building here, right? We have this place that we kind of started with. We came over here. We started expanding all this way and obviously out here and up this way. We've done a lot. We've basically doubled the size of the entire settlement in the last 2 episodes, which I wasn't necessarily planning on doing. I wasn't not planning on doing it, but it got away from me a little bit. So I just wanted to zoom out and take a look at things. And I realized if we start moving down here, we have so much space still to play with. We have started filling maybe half of the map here. There is a lot more. There is so much more. I'm not promising that we're going to get to all of this, but we have a lake right here, which would be good for fishing. We have this, which would be good for fishing. We have this, which would be amazing for fishing. So there's still a lot of room to play with. We could even get another forester down here if I really wanted to, which honestly I might, just to fill the space. It might not be a bad idea. Or I could do some farm fields down here. I could do some orchards. I could do another little settlement with a market. I could do whatever I wanted down there, really. I've got some choices. I've definitely got some choices. We're also finally seeing this all come together. We don't have a whole lot of construction left to do, which is fantastic news. In fact, this is done now, which is great. I did have to go and build some roads out this way. It turns out I forgot to connect this fishing dock to the little trail here. And I also built this storage barn, or I'm building a storage barn, so that all of the, you know, food production stuff out this way actually has a barn nearby, as well as the people living here. You know, they can go and get some resources from the barns as well, which should be absolutely fantastic. I also want to point out that we're over 50,000 food right now. It's early autumn. The harvests are going ahead, so we're doing pretty good. We also have these bridges in here now, which is great. That's a really good little connection for my markets and just my people in general. So that has me pretty happy. This house is also done, so we're down to just needing 6 builders. I don't actually know what they're working on. I know they're working on this, which has taken 4 of them. I don't know what the other ones are necessarily working on. I'm sure there's maybe like a house somewhere that's not been built, or something that I can't remember that's not been built somewhere, but I guess I kind of want them to work on this, and they are working on it, so that's totally fine. We're up to 69 kids at the moment, so that's good. That means that the schools should gradually fill up, which is what we're looking for. Up to 47 students, which is not great. I think the capacity for students in the entire colony right now is 80. So we definitely need to be higher than where we are. We have this, actually, how many schools do I have? I've got 4 teachers. Yeah, so it's 80 is the capacity for schools right now. Yeah, we might want to look into getting that population just growing that a little bit faster. I don't know. I don't know if I do want to do that. I don't want things to go horribly wrong. I mean, we're doing okay in terms of resources, but I don't know. I don't want to get too carried away. We'll bring the number of builders down to 0. That leaves us 15 laborers. We need 76 fishermen, which we don't have the laborers for right now, unfortunately. So, oh man, 76 divided by 3. What is that? What is 76? So 35. No, 35 and 35. 38 would be half of it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So, oh wait, no, it's what is, I don't know. It doesn't matter. That'd be 19 and 19 is 38, right? Plus 19 plus 9 is 47. 57? Is 57 the number I'm looking for? I really don't know. Do I want to go to 57 fishermen and leave myself 4 laborers? I don't know that I do want to do that. I'm going to be honest. Only 4 laborers is kind of scary, especially when you consider the fact that we're now down to 1. Oh, no, 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 no. We'll go to 50 fishermen. We'll be fine with that. Good Lord. That's, actually, you know what? We'll go to 54 is what we'll do. We'll leave ourselves 5 laborers. I'm kind of hoping that we see a bunch of students become laborers sometime soon, because we're in a weird spot now is where we are. We're definitely in a weird spot. Only 50,000 food last year, still a surplus though, so not too worried about it. Education's up to 78%, which is amazing. We've gone up by 9%, which is great news. 159 homes, 181 families, 450 citizens. That is wild. that is wild. I'm so pleased with this. I'm also thinking I'm going to get one builder because a lot of these roads still haven't been built. So hopefully we can slowly get those going. There we go. Reserve of firewood is low. How did I know that was coming? How did I know that was coming? I knew that would be the one thing to slip again. Absolutely knew that would be the one thing to slip. And we're down to one laborer again. Oh man. We need nomads is what we need. I hate to say it. Because I really don't want nomads, but we kind of need nomads. And I don't see any. I don't see any at all. So we're going to have to just, I don't know, sit around, wait, hope for the best. I'm sure everything will be fine. I mean, look, if it comes down to it, I think we can probably go down to fewer vendors. We can take some miners out of the mines as well. So it's not like we're going to run out of people. But then the question becomes, well, the issue becomes I have to resupply the mines with work or workers. And yeah, we need to make sure that everything's going to be all right here. We need to, you know, find a nice little balance. We're starting to see more laborers. We're starting to see more students. I think we'll be okay. Just a weird spot. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm really pleased with the growth in the last 2 episodes. We've just doubled the size of the entire colony, but we have our little farming settlement. We have our little fishing town. I'm really pleased with it. And like I said, we still got half of a map to play with. So we're not done yet. I think I'm starting to get a little bit reckless. So there might be some disasters on the horizon if I don't slow down and just take inventory a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Either way, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. Let's get ourselves one builder. Never mind. We just had everybody die. Let's just stick with laborers for now. We'll stick with the laborers. As always, it's been an absolute, wait, what's the line? It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.